Hey guys, so something that I'm really excited I've been doing for the past 2 weeks is on Instagram. I've been doing Q&As and answering them, and I'm going to start posting them here because there's a lot of really good stuff in there. So if you want to get involved with these, every Saturday, 12 p.m., I'm going to be doing these Q&As on my Instagram, so make sure to tune in. All right, here we go. Guns and stuff. Guns and stuff, week 2. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this. It should be a while though, because we're all just sitting here doing nothing and we're all wondering random stuff. Like, why are tigers $2,000 and pit bulls $1,500? Like, there is not a $500 discrepancy between a tiger and a pit bull. Anyway, let's get into these questions. So, the minute I posted that intro, I'm like, they're not going to complain about it. And then everyone complained about AKs. So here is my official stance on AKs. They're not bad guns. They're actually really great guns. They'll build it out of a shovel. This thing will last till the end of time. All true. AKs are rock solid platforms. Me personally, I prefer an AR. I like the manual of arms better. For me, in Maryland, it's a lot easier to get an AR than it is an AK that's good and that I would want to run. So AKs are not trash like the VP9. It's just not my preferred weapon. And I know I'm still going to get 1,000,001 DMs of people who watch this video and still say I hate AKs. And I'm okay with being the hate AK guy. I'm already the hate VP9 guy. Red dot or irons? Do both. You can legit do both. Advantages of a red dot are you can shoot further. There's only one thing you have to pick up, and you can look through the optic at your target and just superimpose the dot on it. With irons, you have to like pick up your front sight, put it over the target. There's a little more work in lining up your irons. It's a lot harder to line up your red dot. Some people think it's just there's a dot there, but it's not. Like, you have to practice getting it in the center of the glass. And then you'll realize your hand shakes a lot more when you have a red dot. So I would say learn both because both are super advantageous, but there's no reason you can't have both on a gun. If you can afford it, do both. Okay, this is a loaded question. There's a ton of choices for both. General stuff I would say for both is don't go cheap. Whenever I see a lot of features for a low price, it usually means it's cheap. If you can change 10 different reticles and 2 different colors, it's usually a cheaper optic. Slap mark. So, what I would say to do is find a good reputable company, find a good reputable optic, and save up for it. Great options: HoloSun, Vortex, if you can afford it, Loophole. Upper echelon is going to be Trigicon, things like that. Do not buy cheap optics and you will not regret it. You can get away with a little bit cheaper red dot than you can magnified optic. If you're looking for a magnified optic and you want a cheap option, just skip it and wait till you have the money. You're gonna regret it if you go any form of a cheap magnified optic. HoloSun makes a great budget option, and Vortex makes some great budget options too. Check out those 2 companies for both pistols and carbines. I really like the MOS. There's a few issues with it, but I really like it. So here's why I like it. First, if you're military or law enforcement, sometimes you can't change your duty gun. That's the gun you're issued, or you have to buy the gun and you can't make any changes to it. In Maryland, that's the way it is. They can't cut up their guns. So if you want to get an optic on your gun, it used to be you just couldn't, even though you could shoot it better. Now you can buy an MOS. It's factory from Glock, so it's that way. They're not making any changes, but they can add a red dot and have that advantage of using a red dot. Other great thing is if you're a new shooter, or if you're trying to figure out if you want to do this whole red dot thing and you don't want to send out your slide to get it milled, you can get an MOS, and then that way you can put an optic on it, and if you don't like it, you can put the plate back on it and you still have a factory gun. Now, where it's not so great is I've seen a lot of people talk and deal with the issue of, because there's so this slide is milled, meaning I sent it out, someone cut it up, so the optic screws right into the slide. The MOS, the way it works is that there is a plate that goes under the optic. So the plate screws into the slide because you can switch out different plates for different optics because you're not sure which one you want to use. So you can switch out the plate and the optic screws into the plate. That's now 2 contact points as opposed to like this one. Issue with that is though, there's not enough thread on that optic plate for the optic to really bite down, so you're getting it walking off after a couple thousand rounds. If you're not shooting that much, then that's not that big of a problem. If you're still figuring out if you want to do this, but you gotta like after every range day, torque that thing down. So for me, that wasn't going to be an option. I needed something that I could shoot a lot and just know it was going to work. So I had my slide mode. So if you're a military Leo, you can't have your slide cut. Or if you're not sure if you want to really do this, MOS is a great option. If you know you want to do it, you're about that life, get that thing cut. Don't really have a favorite ammo brand. I shoot Federal mostly, but I'm open to shooting anything. I don't really like shooting Winchester. One ammo brand I am interested in trying out is Grind Hard Ammo. They just opened up and they're doing some really interesting stuff. Really cool stuff with different loads and different self-defense rounds. Besides that, I don't shoot remanufactured ammo anymore. I had some bad experiences with one company and I just stay away from it altogether now. Besides that remanufactured, I'll shoot anything. Do I still run backup sights? Yes. Do I use them? No. In the life that I live, will I most likely use them? Not really. They don't take up that much space and they're not that heavy, so I have them on there. If you don't run them, it's probably not going to be the end of the world. Yes, I have a plan. So it's in two parts. The first thing is when I show up to the range, I know specifically what I want to work on. So I start with a cold start drill, and then after that, I go into my specific training thing I'm working on, whether it's carbine, whether it's pistol, drawing, picking up my optic, whatever it is. But the important thing that I think a lot of people miss is once you leave the range, the minute you get in your car, set a list of this is what I did well on, this is what I need to work on next time, because it's fresh in your mind, you know what you were struggling with, and that sets up your to-do list for the next time you come to the range. Don't just leave the range and let it all fly out your head. Know specifically what you need to work on, and that's how you're able to consistently build skill, because you're able to pick back up where you left off. So don't just go to the range with a plan, have it, run it, and then forget what you worked on. Remember what you did and build on that the next time. Okay, since you say you're building an AR pistol, I'm assuming you don't want to go the 14.5 pin and welded to a 16, so I would say 10.5. That's my go-to AR pistol length. Long enough to get work done, but small enough to stick in a bag. Especially if you put like a law folder or something or it's like an MCX where you can get it really, really short. So I go 10.5. I don't know. I really don't know. So like in 2013, Sandy Hook happened, and then stuff went crazy, and then by the end of like 2013 into 2014, stuff started to get back in stock and normalize. Now, I don't know. Because this is going to go for a while, so stuff could be crazy until June, August, September, and then it could start to go back down. I don't know. One thing I would also say is buy what you need. Don't go crazy. Don't get everything in the store. Don't buy into the entire palette. There are a lot of new gun owners out there who don't know a lot. If you, I have enough ammo. I haven't bought ammo yet, because I know there's people out there who need ammo. So don't be greedy. Like, leave some for the rest of these new owners. Now, this is my bias because I'm in Maryland. I don't sell guns. I sold my VP9. That was probably the last gun I'm ever going to sell. That's just because I'm like, I may never get it again. But it's up to you. It is a 40, so do whatever your heart so desires. That means get rid of it. There's a lot of great ones out there. To give you one, I would say the Vortex Crossfire. It's like $150. Now, be careful with Eotech-like sights. Just because it has a large housing and is fully enclosed, that does not mean that it is a holographic sight, which the Eotech is. Like the HoloSun 510C, that is about the same size as the Eotech. They work completely different. So make sure you're getting a holographic sight and not a holographic S sight. That being said, if you got the money for the Eotech, they're fire. They're legit. Get one. AR about $32,000. This 90 grand, somewhere around there. Thank you so much. Like, my main priority, the main reason I do this is to help you guys. So if this is helpful, if this is really getting you guys what you need, then I'm super happy. Carry ammo is Federal HST, and then what I train with is just 124. I like to shoot a hot bullet just so I'm used to that recoil impulse. I talked about this before. If you scroll all the way to the beginning, I go in depth. They're just not my preferred platform. All right, last few questions, rapid fire, let's go. M&P Sport, not a bad gun if you buy it and just leave it the way it is. Most people don't though. They buy a thing and then buy another thing and change it, and then you're already at $800,000 gun. So just spend $800 or $1,000 on the gun you want, the great gun, and you'll end up with a better gun for the same price. Do both, get an offset mount and put the red dot on that. That's what I'm going to do on my 16-inch. M&P 9mm. You picked great brands, but all the guns from the brands that I don't want. And And I am done. I didn't want to be done, but the thingy disappeared, so that's pretty much the end of it. Next Saturday, we're going to do it again. If you have a question that I didn't get to, shoot me a DM, and I'll love to get you an answer. All right, peace.
Woo!